Hey Flosstube, it's Annie and I'm the Proper Stitcher. Welcome back to my channel. This is episode number 2 and thank you all who watched my first video and subscribed to my channel and liked the video and left comments. I read every single comment and you all are so supportive and so nice, and I can't tell you how much it meant to me to read all of those wonderful comments and supportive comments, and just know that I really appreciate your support. The last time I saw you, it was before Easter. It was the Thursday before Easter, and it was a beautiful weekend here in East Tennessee for Easter, and we got a lot of family time in and some stitching time in, and I hope you did too. Since I saw you last, my children have kept me really busy. My son runs track in the spring and cross country in the fall, so we're in track season right now. And so we've had a couple of track meets. He has practice every day pretty much. My daughter's a junior in high school. She's had a college tour. We're in full swing of getting ready for her senior year, and it's a bit overwhelming for me. I've never done this with my child before, so we're going through this for the first time. So this is exciting and also a little scary. So I've had a few days where I couldn't devote as much as I wanted to stitching, but hopefully things will settle back down. We're all ready for summer, and so we're in the home stretch to the end of the school year. But so today is Friday. I actually filmed a video yesterday, or I thought I filmed a video yesterday, and come to find out I didn't, and then I was having technical difficulties. So I'm filming on Friday today, and what I'd like to do in the future is record or do a video every week. I think that will, one, it'll help shorten the video, and I think Thursdays are a good day so that you can have a video to add to your rotation for the weekend. And so that's my plan going forward, is to film on Thursday and try to have that uploaded on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. But Fridays are a little busy around here. It seems to be the day that a lot of people do their yard work. So if we hear a lawnmower, I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't happen, and hopefully it won't be too loud. So fingers crossed. So let's get right into the video. Today I'm going to talk about just some themed stitching days that I have added into my rotation. I have some Flosstube shout outs I'd like to add in, and my whips and finishes and haul, and some stitch email that I got, and then our giveaway. So stay tuned for the end for that. You all are really supportive with your sharing and shouting out and joining in on what I'm doing on Instagram, and I really appreciate that. So when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will have a big giveaway. So let's stay tuned for that. And if that happens midweek or before Thursday, I'll do a special video for that, just sort of a celebration. So let's see if we can get there. So share my channel with your fellow cross stitchers. Okay, so one of the things that I've added to my themed stitching day is Tomato Tuesday. And I got the idea from a friend of mine. Her name's Kim Gavlik, and she and her daughter Ashley Day, they have a company called Stitch Etc. And they specialize in wooden finishing products, and I'll show you that in my stitch email. But they have an Instagram page and a Facebook page, and they are Stitch, etc. on Facebook, and that's ETC, etc. And on Instagram, they're Stitch _etc. And they came up with the idea to do #Tomato Tuesdays. And I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of cross stitch designers are using tomatoes in their designs. So we decided to do Tomato Tuesday. So I have that in my whips to show you. And another one that I'm doing is on Friday, Friendship Friday. So #Friendship Friday. A lot of friendship themed designs right now, and I'm wanting to stitch some of those as gifts. So those are 2 themed days. I don't have a lot of themed days. I like to stitch just what I feel like for the day from my stack of whips, but those are 2 that I try to, at least on Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm going to try to devote about an hour to those little projects. And then my other stitch along that I have, which is very informal, is Cherry Hill. So I'm going to add those in. So let's go ahead and talk about my whips, since I've been talking about that. Let's find the Tomato Tuesday. So I got a surprise from my husband the other day. My birthday is this month. It's at the end of the month. And he said, why don't we turn the guest bedroom into a sewing room for you? Which I never thought of before, because I don't want to take away a guest bedroom. But at the same time, we haven't had a lot of guests lately. So I'm excited. I have my current sewing space is in the basement, and it's a storage room, and I have a corner of the storage room that is my sewing nook, if you will. But right now we have a lot of furniture stored in there. Different family members have asked if they can store some furniture down there, and my room's gotten a little crowded. So I don't get to go down there as much as I'd like, because I can't spread out. Like if I'm making my quilts, I don't have floor space to spread out, and it has, because of the how much it's grown down there, I don't feel as inspired, I guess. So I don't use my sewing room as much. So to have my own sewing space, I'm going to be excited. And then you know what that means. It means I get to start stitching sewing themed designs. So I'm excited about that. So the first one that I'm doing, this is for Tomato Tuesday, but it'll go into my new sewing room, is called Mice in the Sewing Room. And this is a Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. And look at those cute mice in their dress. Oh, you can't see it. Love their dresses. Aren't they cute? Now, I love mice when they're in a cross-stitch design, not the real thing. But I stitched Brenda Gervais Plum Pudding, and I showed that to you last week. Very similar design, very similar in size. But the Mountain Mist dress, that's the color that she used on these. So pretty. It's one of my favorite floss colors. So I started that on Tuesday, and this will also go into my sewing room. So I got just a little start. I got their little feet right there. So cute. And I'm stitching this on 35 count flax Edinburgh linen. So it's going to be a small size. But I think it'll be a good size to have on a shelf in my sewing room, or framed, or on one of the wooden paddles that I was telling you about. So that is Mice in the Sewing Room. And what I thought I'd do once I start turning that into a sewing room is I'll try to document it and either start a blog with that or put it on my Instagram. We'll see. Hopefully I can figure out how to do a blog, and maybe I can do that. But that is one of my whips I'm working on, and it goes in with those themed sewing days. Now, the other themed sewing day is #Friendship Friday. And I decided to start on Plum Street Samplers, A Friend Loveth. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. And it says, A Friend Loveth at All Time. And I showed you this last week, and I've kitted it since I showed it to you. And so here are the colors of the floss, and they're so pretty. And Mountain Mist is used in this too. But I'm going to use it on this gray linen. And I think that's going to be really pretty. So that is going to be #Friendship Friday. So if you're interested in joining either of those, just use those hashtags and let me know about it. And one other whip that I'm working on that is a stitch along, and this is very informal stitch along. Someone on Instagram reached out to me and said, hey, I'm stitching Summer at Cherry Hill too. And this is Brenda Gervais, Summer at Cherry Hill. I love her dress. Look at this. So pretty. And one thing about Brenda Gervais dresses on her designs, the way that she designs them, they're just so beautiful. But this Instagram follower, her name is Joke, J-O-K-E Crafts. She reached out to me and said, I'm stitching that. And she lives in the Netherlands. And she said, let's do this together. And I just love stitching along with other people, especially when it's informal. So this is a start when you want, stitch when you want, finish when you want, but just show us your progress and use the hashtag Summer at Cherry Hill. And let me show you. When I saw you last, I had only started the upper corner over here. I had only started this much. And so since then, I have done stitched all of the alphabet and the border. And I don't know if y'all do this, but I do a little happy dance when my borders match up. So these borders matched up and I was just thrilled. And so now I get to stitch the fun part, the middle part. So look at these bees. Look how cute those are. And then that beehive. Love it. I can't wait to do it. So that's gotten a lot of my attention lately. And if you remember, I switched out the red. The red that it calls for is chili pepper. And the red that I got in my dye lot, when I received it in the mail, it was too pink and I wanted more of a rich red. So I switched it to cherry cobbler. So I like how it's looking. This is stitched on 32 count vintage mocha linen. And one thing I forgot to point out to you, if you are not aware, that this linen, it's marbled on one side and it's plain on the other. So if you happen to buy this in a big piece and cut off from it, just know that you have those two sides. So if you want to stitch something on a plain side, you have that option too. So this is a lot of fun, and it did get a lot of my attention over the last few weeks. So I'm glad to have that border done. Now I can just jump right in the middle. Now, the one that I did not get to stitch on as much as I wanted to, and that's okay. I will give it a lot of attention this next week, is Modern Folk Embroidery. This is a stitch along for the year. This is the Fruit of Plenty. I am still on January, which I'm okay with that. I know that I'll catch up eventually or get pretty close to it. So here is my progress on that. I was able to get part of the border of this motif done. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast antique white linen. And I'm using 2 shades of blue. Now the blue that I'm using, oh, I dropped one on the floor. Okay, so the 2 DMCs that I'm using on this, 932 is the light color and 3750 is the darker blue. So those two together on this white linen is really pretty. Blue and white, blue is my favorite, but blue on white is really my favorite. And so I'm excited to get this one done. This is the biggest piece that I've stitched. So I'm trying not to get overwhelmed with it, and that's why I'm glad that Jacob sends the monthly pieces, so you're not looking at this whole design at one time. So go to his website if you're interested. It's Modern Folk Embroidery, and you can still join in, and he even has the one from last year up there if you are interested in that one. He has some beautiful designs. I downloaded some of his Christmas patterns too. They're really pretty. Well, I guess I've gone out of order. I'll continue with my whips, and then I'll show you my previous finishes, because I just have one more whip to show you. I finally got the linen for Hello from Liz Matthews Butterfly Cloche, and I was waiting on 36 count fog, and so that came in the mail, and I did start it as soon as I could, and it's a lot of fun. This fog is very much like, looks a lot like the antique linen paper that you see on those prints in museums. And so I started this butterfly, and I just have the outline done, almost done, and then I started filling in a little bit on one wing. And actually, yeah, I think it goes like this. So this is a piece that I'm really excited about. It's taking me a little longer because it is 36 count. So that was a little intimidating to me. I haven't stitched on 36 count in a while, but I'm enjoying it. It's a slow process, but I'm enjoying that rhythm that it gives me. This is Hello from Liz Matthews, Butterfly Cloche. And all of my projects I keep in my Nikki's Notable bags. Look at this one. Look how cute this one is with the chicks and the little. So Nikki's Notables, she's on Instagram and she's on, she's on Instagram and she's on Etsy. So let me show you some finishes. So those are all my whips. I'm really going to give a lot of attention to modern folk embroidery this week, and then some patriotic pieces. I need to build up my patriotic pieces. So I've got some haul of patriotic pieces. So let me show you my whips, my finished products first. This is Grand Old Flag. And this is by Brenda Gervais. And I stitched this a few years ago. And it's finished into a pillow with some twine. Another one of Brenda Gervais' dresses. But this is Grand Old Flag, and I added a little bit on a pin, a string. Super pretty. And then I have this piece. This is Stitching Time. It's also a Brenda Gervais. And in this design packet of this pattern, there are multiple different sewing notions and products that are things that you can stitch. I chose this one because I wanted to use this box. So what I did is I stitched this on 40 count gunmetal linen. And the called for floss, and it's 1 strand over 2. And these are super easy to make. So what you do is you get a piece of cardboard and you put batting and you make it puffy, and then you wrap your linen around it and you lace it on the back. So you lace it going in a zigzag direction. And then I glued a piece of wool on the back, and it sits right inside this box. So you can find these types of boxes in a lot of different places in frame shops. I got this one at a retreat, and it's by My Hand Needleworks by Patty Nicolosi. And so it sits right in there. And I have this in white and in black. And I think for the black one, I'm going to do a patriotic piece. And this one sits in my bedroom, but I want one for my living room. But a funny story on this. So I went to Las Vegas. My husband has to go to Las Vegas every May for a conference. And there is a store in Las Vegas called Stitcher's Paradise. Well, one day he had a lot of meetings. And I decided I'm going to go to that store. I've never been there before. And it's about 5 miles, maybe more, from the Las Vegas Strip. So I took a taxi there, and I told the taxi driver where I wanted to go. And they're used to quick little drives on the Strip, and for me to ask to take me to a cross-stitch store in Las Vegas, and then so far away. And I could tell he was surprised. I said, I bet you don't get asked this much, do you, to take people here on vacation to the cross-stitch store? And he said, no, I don't. I've never had anyone ask me to do that. So super nice guy. And he gave me his card and said, hey, when you're done shopping, I'll be in this area and I'll take you back out there. But I got this gunmetal linen there, and I have a lot of it because at that particular store you had to buy a certain amount, and I only needed a small piece. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's pretty. And these little boxes are nice little keepsake boxes. So I do have one other box to show you that is a keepsake. And this I stitched for my daughter. And I wanted to get her for her birthday one year a jewelry box. And I'd heard about Lone Elm jewelry boxes, or their boxes. And so I searched and researched all the different types of jewelry boxes that they had. And I loved this blue and gray. And her name is Gray. So I stitched this La-Di-Da pattern. And this is called Garden Birds. And I love how it turned out. It's really pretty. And this is just one of those keepsake pieces. She keeps it on her bedside table with her jewelry in it. But this was one of my first time lacing on a back. I wish I put a little bit more batting in here, but it sits beautifully in there. So if you ever see a box with a dip, a lot of people specialize in making box tops for cross-stitch pieces, but you can also find unfinished wooden boxes at a craft store, and you can paint them and do something similar, and you can put your own design, the design that you want inside the box. Just measure it, and you'd be amazed at how many designs you can find that'll fit inside some of these boxes. So those are 3 of my finishes, previous finishes that I've done. And I wanted to give some Flosstube shout outs. So I have become friends with Artie, the Vintage Stitcher, and a lot of you have found me through Artie, and she's so sweet and such a nice lady. She lives in Michigan, and I found her in March when I was researching floss tubes and really catching up on a lot of floss tubes. And she started around March, and what I like about Artie is she loves to stitch vintage designs and, just very nostalgic, but she also stitches current day things, or more recent things, but in a lot of Prairie Schooler Santas. And, we like to stitch some of the same things, but she has really a gift for delivering information in a short amount of time. And so what she does is she'll film a couple of videos a week and put them out there, so you get a quick little snippet of her day or her week. And I like that. I like checking in with people periodically. It's like we're on a phone call a couple of times a week when you're watching her videos. It's really nice. And so she is so pleasant to watch. And she and I are going to have an announcement in May, but we're going to do a stitch along, but starting in June. But we're going to have an announcement in May, what that project is, give everybody time to gather their materials and supplies, and then we'll make that announcement. So stay tuned for that. But go and check out Artie. Her channel is called The Vintage Stitcher, and you won't be disappointed, I promise. Another floss tuber that I've been watching a lot of, and her name is Chrissy with Crosshatch Quilts, and I have really enjoyed watching her. She is she stitches a lot of big pieces, so that's very inspirational to me, but I have caught myself pausing her video and ordering what she is working on because her stitching is beautiful. I love her color choices. She does some quilting, a lot of quilting. She's also a quilter, but she focuses her videos on her cross stitch. So go and check her out, Crosshatch Quilts, and you won't be disappointed with her either. So how about we look at some haul? Okay, so I guess since it's 2 weeks, I was kind of bad because it's been 2 weeks. That's a long time. But I really needed to build up my Patriotic pieces. So we've got a lot of those. Let's do those first. Let's look at my Patriotic. So I called Cross Stitching Crafts in Johnson City, and please forgive me, my last video, I kept calling them just Cross Stitching Crafts. And I think the reason I did that, I was thinking about the magazine, but I call them all the time. I don't know why I was doing that. I must have been nervous. But Sandra and Amy in Johnson City, their store is called Cross Stitching Crafts. So I saw them advertise this design. It is From the Heart, a needle art by Wendy, and it's Freedom Quaker. I saw them post that on Facebook, and I needed Patriotic pieces. And so I ordered this from them, and I got the floss. They were out of Cherry Cobbler at the time, but I had some. So Cherry Cobbler is the only one that's not in this. But those colors are going to be so pretty. And Blacksmith Blue. This is a pretty blue. So this is going to be one of my first Patriotic pieces I start this week. I know a lot of people are doing Americana April, and I just did not get started in time for that. So, but I am going to add some Patriotic pieces in my rotation. So that is I got from Cross Stitching Crafts. Another thing I got from Cross Stitching Crafts a few months ago, and I forgot about it. It happens when you have stuff in your stash. They kitted up for me Basket of Summertime by Brenda Gervais. I love that blue. The blue is Freedom. So that's going to be a pretty blue. So that, I have everything ready to go on that. They even sent me the linen and all the floss when I ordered it from them. So that's going to be fun, and that will be started soon. Maybe I need to add a couple of days for Patriotic this next week. So Plum Street Samplers is another good one for Patriotic pieces. And so I ordered some, and I had some in my stash that I had forgotten about. So I thought I'd share all those with you. This is Bless Our Land. And that house is blue. I mean, I love it. I love all this blue that we're seeing. I might be able to put that on 40 count, and it can fit on one of those boxes. I'll have to measure it. But I want my dough bowl full of Patriotic pieces. I have a dough bowl that sits on my coffee table, and I usually have year-round pillows in it, little cross-stitch pillows. And then when it's a season like Halloween or Christmas or Easter, I put those themed pieces in there. And so I'd like to get a bowl full of my Patriotics. So I don't know if I've told y'all this. I love chickens. I have chickens in my kitchen. I have chicken pictures, paintings, just a lot of chickens. So these chickens, the Plum Street Samplers henpeck, they're holding flags. So you know I am going to have to stitch those. I also downloaded Stitching with the Housewives, some of their Patriotic pieces, but my printer's out of ink right now, so I haven't been able to print those. I'll have those for you next week to see. This one I think is funny. George and Martha. And I was laughing because it's like we're on a first name basis with them. George and Martha. But that's going to be fun. I like those colors. The shade of red. I mean, it's just really pretty. That red is used brick. Okay, and this one is Summer Hill. That flag, look at that. Look how pretty. And her dress and this hill she's standing on. That's going to be fun to stitch. And then Hello Summer. I have several of this series. I have the winter, the Hello Winter, and the Hello Spring. So I need to get busy with these. And then the last one from Plum Street is Summer Delivery. And I love this. I can't wait. I will frame this one and put it on a side table or by my front door probably. So and I ordered from Kathy Barrick, her latest, two of her latest designs. And one thing I forgot to mention about Kathy Barrick and her daughter Liz Matthews, they always do a wonderful conversion chart. They stitch with silk a lot, but they're so thoughtful and careful in their choice selection and color selection for DMC. They spend a lot of time doing that, and that is so appreciative because not everybody wants to stitch with silk, or not everybody has the budget to stitch with silk. And so they take great care in making sure that they get that color conversion just right. So you know that if they stitched it with silk, you're going to get a close conversion with the DMC. So I ordered Kathy Barrick's A Quaker Dwelling. And I saw this on Hello from Liz Matthews Flosstube. And I just really, really like this house. I love the detail, the way the brick is stitched, all these motifs around it. It's a big piece, but this one was definitely on my to-do list this year. It's a big one. And the last one from Kathy Barrick is Pieces of Old. And this is also another legacy piece. This is going to take me a while, but I love it. So pretty. So Pieces of Old and A Quaker Dwelling. Okay, so a few more to go into my Friendship Friday idea. This one's a little funky for me. This is Heartstring Samplery, and it's called I Wish You Lived Next Door. But look at these colors. Look how just bright and bold they are. I don't know if I'm going to use these or if I'm going to change them, but aren't they fun? So I got those. And then I went on Fat Quarter Shop And I've seen so many people, I like Lori Holt. Lori Holt is another favorite of mine. I watch her videos all the time. And she's just so much fun. I watch her quilting and her cross stitch videos. But on Fat Quarter Shop site, they have these stitch cards, Be in My Bonnet stitch cards, and they're different sets. And I got set G, and this is Christmas themed. But on the inside of this, you can see how she has even some Halloween themed ones and some summertime themed ones. And these are small. These will be quick and fun to stitch. And they're on these individual cards, kind of like a postcard. Making sure I'm not showing you the wrong side. And these little presents, it's all just so cute. And these can make great ornaments, or you can, another bowl, just do a bowl full of them. I got her 25 count Lugana to stitch these on. I've never used Lugana, but I've used even weave, and it seems a lot like that. So I think I'm going to enjoy it. And that will probably get my attention later in the summer when I start stitching more Christmas pieces. Now, remember when I told you sometimes when I watch crosshatch quilts, I pause it and I'll go and order something she's working on. She showed this heartstring samplery, Baby It's Cold Outside. She had it framed. She had just had it finished. And it is so pretty done. And it says, look out at the storm, listen to the fireplace roar, baby, it's cold outside. And I just like that. And look at those snowflakes. So maybe on Saturdays I'll do sampler Saturdays or sampler Sundays or something, and I can start doing these bigger pieces. So since, like I told you, I filmed yesterday, and I thought I filmed, and it didn't work out. Well, this came in the mail last night, so I was able to show it to you today. But this is not Forgotten Farm. And this is, what is his name? The Reverend Gordon Squashbottom. The Reverend Gordon Squashbottom. And some people have started a stitch along with this. I just found out about it when I was watching Lori Breckland. She did a live Instagram and she was talking about it. So it made me go on and order it. If you remember, my Tis Spring pillow I showed last week is a Not Forgotten Farm. So you can go to her Etsy page. She's reprinted this because she discovered that a lot of people were stitching it. And she, even if you want, you can order this frame from her. But he is just adorable. Look at those pants. Ooh, and look at his shoes. So go look for him. He's the Reverend Gordon Squashbottom. So that's my haul. I got some non-stitching haul, that, you know, non-cross stitch haul, but still it helps with my cross stitch. So I don't know if y'all remember last time I was talking about how when I'm stitching, I didn't bring it to show you my whip on that one, the Tis the Season Blackbird, and I'm using the Bellaswa Classic Colorwork Silks. And I was talking about how my fingers get chapped and it pulls on the silk, and so I have to put it down until my fingers heal. Well, I had one person comment, and one person who overheard me talking about this at the Finishing Touch in Louisville a couple of weeks ago. But this Burt's Bees hand cream, I'm sorry, there's a glare again. This Burt's Bees hand cream is wonderful for that. It comes in this big jar, and this is almond and milk scented, but you just rub a little bit on your fingertips, and it does help with the dry skin. But it's very emollient. You don't want to touch your linen after you've used this. So do it at nighttime or when you're not stitching. But I can tell a big difference. So thank you so much for the viewer who commented and told me about this product. I went and got it that same day. So Burt's Bees. Another kind of life-changing discovery for me. I had a friend that was Kay. I went to Louisville with. And she had these magnetic ties for when you're stitching on a larger piece of linen, you can, and you know how I stitch in a hoop. So the linen can get kind of bulky and in the way. So these ties I got, she told me where to get them. You can get them on Amazon, and they're called Rich, R-I-C-H, and Ray, R-A-Y, twist ties. And they come in this pack of 10, and I think they're not expensive at all, maybe $10. And you roll up the linen, and then you clip them. I can't open this one right now. You roll your linen and you clip it, and you use it as a magnet to hold it and keeps the linen out of your way while you're stitching. So that's new to me. I have not heard of these or seen these before, but it has made a big difference. And I have a lot of colors. They're in all of my sewing bags that have big pieces of linen. So I will try to link. I'll link some of these things down in the bottom so you can find it easier. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the Happy Little Stitch Shop. I think I'm saying that right. Little Happy Stitch Shop or Happy Little Stitch Shop. I'll link it below too and get it right. But she had a post on Instagram, and she had received a box full of needle minders, and they were cute. I mean, a box full of needle minders to see them all together. So I ordered a tomato and this bike, and then I went back online and ordered some more when I got these in the mail. This bike is so cute. So I ordered some more, and they should be here any day, and those will be part of a giveaway in the future. I ordered a hedgehog, and I think I ordered a camper, and one that looks like it says Needle Workshop. So cute. But go check her out. She's also a Flosstuber, so lots of information from her too. And then one last thing that is non-stitching related. I found this woman on Instagram, and she is called Farm Down the Lane. And she takes old vintage quilts that she finds in antique stores. And she stitches or sews many different things with them. One sells, she may have baby bibs and journals and ornaments. And at Easter, she had Easter bunny shapes. So many different, so creative. But she has an Etsy shop, but if you follow her on Instagram, you can see what she's working on for her next sale. And then she'll post, I'm having a sale on such and such date and at this time. So I got this last time, and it is a bird, and it is so perfectly stuffed. Wonderful. I can't wait to see what she does for other seasons. But this bird, right now I have him in my kitchen. I have a cake plate with some vignettes on it, and I just have him sitting on there, but very pretty. I can't wait to see what else she comes up with. So check her out, Farm Down the Lane. So, okay, so now we are to my stitch mail or happy mail that people have sent me. And this is from Stitch Etc. I was telling you about them earlier in the show. So Stitch Etc., they specialize in wooden paddles. She has many different sizes and shapes and colors. And she used to be with Leela May Designs, and I mentioned their business in my last video. Well, since then, they decided to divide the wooden and their project bag. So Kim and Ashley, their mother-daughter team, they do the wooden products. They live in they were cousins. Jennifer and Kim are cousins, and they live in different states. And so what they've decided is to just separate the two, since it's just logistically difficult for them to meet and do this together. So Kim and Ashley live in Missouri, and they have the wooden sale. And right now they're going to do it on their Facebook page, and they'll announce when they'll have sales. But I think eventually they'll have a website, so you can go and order a la carte and when you're ready instead of waiting for a sale. So they have many different colors and sizes. So she sent me some for giveaways. So I have a round paddle and 2 different size rectangular paddles. And you finish your cross stitch piece on these paddles. So fun. And I think she has black, she has white, she has all different colors. They also have these neat little ruler trays that you can keep like on your sewing table or your stitching table, and keep all of your scissors, your needles, anything that you want to keep in a little tray right next to you. Excuse me. And then they have Ort containers, and she sent me 3 for giveaways. So we have 3 different fabrics. Or if you don't want to use them for your orts, for your threads, you can use it for your eyeglasses, your scissors, anything you want to keep kind of tucked next to you. So these 3 will be a giveaway too. So go and check them out, Stitch Etc., Facebook and Instagram, and they'll give you information as it comes up. So, okay, so to be a winner, there are 3 things you do. You like the channel, or subscribe to the channel, you like the video, and you leave a comment below. And each week I'll have a different question, and that enters you to answer the question. You enter to win, and I have a random generator, and it selects a winner for us. This past week, since I had such a wonderful response from y'all, I decided to do 2 giveaways, and I'll try to keep it at 2 going forward until I start to gather more things for giveaways. But right now we'll do 2 giveaways, and like I said earlier, when we get to 2,000, we'll have a really big giveaway. It'll be a good sampling of everything. But my question last week was, where do you like to spend your stitchy money? And so many of you, we have some. I've been to a lot of the stores that y'all have mentioned. I've never heard of some of these stores that you've mentioned. Some of them are on my wish list and bucket list. And a lot of you do a lot of online shopping because you don't have a local needlework store. So thank you all so much for sharing that. And if you have time, go and read some of these comments below, because you may find some stitching stores that you didn't know about. Or when you're traveling this summer, you can find some of those shops. So I have 2 winners from that, and they are Stitchy Girl and Sheila Carlson. And Sheila's last name is spelled Carlsen. So Sheila and Stitchy Girl, email me at theproperstitcher@gmail.com, and I'll put that in the link below. But you ladies are getting an Ort container in the mail. So send it to me, tell me you won, send me your address. I'll get it out to you as soon as I hear from you. So I have, for next week, what we're going to do is, when I get the needle minders that I've ordered, when those come in, those will be added to this giveaway. So I'll have 2 winners for next week. There'll be a paddle board, 1 for each of you, and a needle minder. So comment below, like the video, and subscribe. But your question to answer this week is, what is your favorite holiday to stitch? My favorite holiday is Christmas to stitch. I have a lot of Christmas stitching, and but I am really trying to work up more seasons throughout the year. I have a lot of Halloween too, but my goal this year is to build up my patriotic stitching. But some people don't like to stitch holidays. They like to just have everyday things. But comment below if that's what you prefer, say that. But just comment, answer that question, and it'll be fun to read your responses. Don't forget to go check out my Instagram and follow me there. I'll have things that I post every day. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday.